It's turkey season, and no, I don't mean the New York Jets. In this country, on Thanksgiving, turkeys get stuffed less often than the Cincinnati Bengals running game. It's week 11 already of the NFL season, almost Thanksgiving, and football's going by too fast, don't you think? Pretty soon I'll have to watch hockey. No, I won't be watching hockey. Pretty soon I'll be watching professional bowling or backgammon. New York Yankees Aaron Judge wins his third straight AL MVP. And the NL MVP is also not a contest as Shohei Ohtani takes the award. He really was spectacular this year. In the NFL, Coach Drabel was fired by the New York Giants after last week's loss. We're going to talk about the Giants, we're going to talk about the Jets, and also we're going to take some time to talk about the Rams. So stick with us for that. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and we're going to do our Pick 6 now. All right, it's time for my favorite part of the show where we pick games. It's only football this week for you, not hockey. No, we're sticking with the football, and we start off in Santiago, Chile, of all places. Have you ever been to Santiago, Chile? Twice last year. All right, that's a nod to There's Something About Mary. Let's just get down to business, right? What the hell is Brett Favre doing here? All right, back to business. The Dolphins are facing the Commanders at 6:30 a.m. here in the Pacific in Santiago, Chile. Not sure what time it's going to be there. Both teams are 3-7. The Dolphins are 2.5-point favorites, and it's a 47.5 OU. We're going to pick the over. The Dolphins winning 28-21 on this game. You know, I just think the Dolphins haven't been as bad as they were at the beginning of the year. I think the Commanders are on a downward slide. They're not going to have Jaden Daniels anymore this season. It's going to be a rough going for them. So 28-21, Dolphins will cover as favorites. Next, we have the Jaguars hosting the Chargers at a 10 a.m. Sunday game. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 5-4. The LA Chargers are 7-3. So Justin Herbert's been having a great year. We all know about that. But Travis Etienne comes in at running back for the Jaguars. He's going to have an all-time day. 38-18. Jaguars over the Chargers. And that's going to be the over also because they're giving us 43.5. Next, and that is, by the way, the Jaguars winning outright because they are the underdog. Next, we have another underdog game that we're picking for you. Now, I know you've been waiting for me to pick my home team, the Rams, especially my cousin Marcos. Can't do it this week again. Right. I keep picking against the Rams and they just keep beating me, but we're going to pick the Seahawks to win. They're both 7-2, but we're going to pick the Seahawks 47-22, and that is the over because they're giving us 48.5. Now, the Rams are 3-point favorites in this game, and they're having a great season. Matthew Stafford, sitting back in the pocket, just having his way with defenses. But I think the Seahawks with Sam Darnold really going to do it this week, 47-22. They're going to light the scoreboard. Next, we have the Broncos hosting the Chiefs at Mile High there. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think there's not going to be as much air to breathe. It's going to be not covering. The Chiefs are going to beat the Broncos by 2, 19-17. They're 4.5 point favorites. I think I've read two different places, different odds. And keep in mind that this is being filmed on Friday night, and I release it Saturday morning. So the odds could change between now and then, I think. We're going to go with the Chiefs again, 19-17. Mahomes is got to bring his team to a playoff position. I don't think they're going to be left out of the playoff picture this year. We're picking the Chiefs, and that is the under. All right, next, and they're not going to cover. Next, we have the Eagles hosting the Lions. Going to be a good game. Eagles 7-2, Lions 6-3. I picked one score originally. Now I'm going with another one. Originally, I went with a little bit of a higher total. This time, I'm going with less. I think the Lions are going to beat the Eagles in Philadelphia 24-22. The Eagles are 2.5-point favorites, but the Lions win outright in Philadelphia. And that is the under because they're giving us 46.5. All right, last but not least, I mean, this is really going to be the marquee game of the week for the NFL because of the fan bases. We've got the Raiders hosting the Cowboys in Las Vegas. You know, the Cowboys are favored to win, and I think they're going to cover. It's a 3.5-point spread, and it's a 50.5 over under. I think the Cowboys win 35-16 in Las Vegas. They're not having a great year. The Cowboys 3-5-1, the Raiders 2-7. Neither team is having a good year, but I just think the Cowboys are going to put it together in Las Vegas, and they're going to cover. That's going to be it for our picks this week. Again, thank you very much for tuning in, and enjoy all your wagers. Be sure you bet responsibly, and thank you. All right, we're already at that time of the year. It's Thanksgiving into Christmas. Mariah Carey's taken over all our radio stations. Well, at least the ones that play the Christmas music. Yes, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Do you guys enjoy this time of the year? I do. I like Christmas time, Thanksgiving especially, because you get to eat. Yeah, just be sure to cook your turkey thoroughly. Try to avoid all those things like salmonella and, H. pylori, etc. Football really kicks into gear now. It really gets going. This is when we start to talk about the playoff picture, the wild card race, the fight for the wild card spots, and not to mention all the coach firings. I can't wait for that. It's the most wonderful time. Anyway, it really is a cool time of the year for football. Cold games, winter games. Always been my favorite time for football. And it is a fall-winter sport. Only they don't play indoors like basketball. This year I'm picking my way too early Super Bowl pick. Yeah, my way too early Super Bowl pick this year is going to be the Patriots and the Rams. Yes, I'm picking two teams who have faced off already twice in previous Super Bowls. The most famous, I think, of course, would be the time that Tom Brady replaced Drew Bledsoe during the playoffs or the season and defeated the greatest show on turf, Kurt Warner, Torrey Holt, Marshall Faulk, the names go on and on. That Rams team led by Mike Martz, the year before they won the Super Bowl under Dick Vermeil, beating the Tennessee Titans just by like a foot. Just an epic game. The Rams, I think, and the Patriots would be a great Super Bowl. Here you have, again, two teams which have faced off twice before in the Super Bowl. Both times the Patriots were victors. And it's going to be a great storyline. You got Matthew Stafford, the grizzled veteran. And you got Derek May across the field, and on the other sideline, he's the quarterback for the Patriots, and he's a sophomore, and he's doing great this year. He really doesn't look like such a young quarterback. I thought he was a rookie previously, but turns out he even made the Pro Bowl last year, in his rookie year. Drake May doing exceptional. I got a chance to watch some Thursday Night Football highlights there. I think the problem with the Jets during this game was that the Patriots were driving. The Patriots were not literally driving down the field, but driving their legs. It's important, as the Patriots showed against the Jets this past Thursday night, to drive your legs in football, whether you're running with the ball or whether you're trying to run through a blocker. Some of the guys that were trying to tackle on the Jets, they're standing still. There was that one good tackle I saw the Jets player make where he suplexed. It's like WWE wrestling over here, or maybe even NCAA freestyle, Greco-Roman. He suplexed the guy from the Patriots. It was crazy. Patriots looking crazy with their almost Chargers-looking throwback uniforms with the white helmet. Yeah. The game was all right. The Jets, they couldn't put together enough points. I think the Super Bowl it could very well be the Rams and the Patriots. That's my way too early Super Bowl pick. But let's continue talking about the Jets. Because I hear a lot of talk and a lot of calls for them to bench quarterback Justin Fields already. And my question is why? Why would you do that? The season is almost, if not already, totally shot, right? Wouldn't this be the perfect time to let him make the mistakes and then coach him through those mistakes week by week? And you may have a good, maybe even a franchise quarterback there. I mean, he's great running out of the pocket. People say he doesn't know how to throw. I saw him make some pretty good throws. There were some mistakes he made, of course, but, I think benching him at this point is not a good idea for the Jets. The Giants firing Coach Dable, whatever his name is. Sorry. That's a big thing. New York, the ownership is having some problems right now. Of course, Mara, the owner of the Giants, having an illness. God bless him and his family during that trying time. I hope they can get it together, but it's not going to be until at least next season where they start making strides towards that with a little help from the draft. What else can we talk about here? I mean, I still want the NFL to do the Billy Joel Fall Out Boy We Didn't Start the Fire medley. I think that'd be great, right? Why not? That'd be great. Yeah, never overestimate an offense and never underestimate a defense. Going into the playoff picture here, it's an age-old thing like everything else. Defense wins championships. Never overestimate an offense and never underestimate a defense. All right, you guys, that's it. You guys take care. Thank you very much for tuning into the Play Action Sports Show. Enjoy all our sports this weekend and take care. We'll see you next week.